Hello, Rennet Bikes and Travels here. Bearings today. Here's a shiny new bearing. You'll notice if I move the outer and the inner races, there's very little movement between them. They've got two clean rubber seals on them on either side. Not all bearings have two rubber seals. Some of them have metal seals on the outside and some of them have no seals on the outside. Personally, when I'm buying them, I prefer to get them with the rubber seals because it helps keep the dirt out and the grease in. Because this is what happens if you don't keep the dirt out. This one did have rubber seals on it, but I've prized the rubber seals off to reveal what should be grease. But as you can see quite clearly there, it's not grease, it's grunge. So this is our worn out bearing, and I've cleaned the grease out so you can see the bearing graces. If you look and I move the inner and the outer, you can see how much slack, how much play there is in the bearings. This is a very worn out bearing. You'll notice the ball bearings are kept separate by a strip of metal that holds all the bearings in place. There's a good reason for this and I will demonstrate that later. I've taken the cage out. As you can see here, all the balls are now free to move within the race. I'm being very careful because they'll have a bad habit of falling out, and I'll show you that in a moment. This is what's left of the cage. So as you can see, the balls are free to move around within the bearing. And if I move the bearing around, all the balls will end up coming to one side, in which case, with just a little bit of movement around, the whole thing falls apart. And I've got ball bearings all over my kitchen now. So we've seen two problems today. The first problem is that the bearing seals had obviously given up the ghost and allowed grit and dirt in, causing the extreme premature wear and the play that we saw in the video. The second problem is if the cage of the bearing collapses, just how easily the whole bearing can fall apart. So to sum up, the main thing to remember is if your bearings are starting to wear out, replace them pretty quickly.